Selling is just not selling a product, it's building relationship. And I think more specifically banking as such, the offerings have become quite commoditized. So what the differentiation is relationship. When you specifically want to talk about women in sales, I feel that while the aggression, aspiration, everything is there, but the way I think, and I'm not, no offense to men, I'm sure they obviously they're good at what they do, but women are great collaborators.
I think the race, it's not just women or men. I think people today are far more ambitious. They're here for their bang in the buck. They're here, they come to office because they know that they have to deliver. And of course, we as an organization are very performance driven. We have KRAs and KPIs. Of course, all of that helps. But no, I do see that the workforce today, irrespective man, woman, boy, girl, they're more clued on, and want to sort of contribute.
I am a human resource professional, right? And what's the typical perception? You will see that it's a role internal to the organization. It seems like a fairly structured job, but if you go to the core of it, and if you were to equate what I actually do, I am doing what a frontline essentially does, right? I have internal clients, so yeah, a lot of influencing at that, right? And I'm sure none of you are going to give it easy if you don't find value in what we are bringing it. So it's all about clients. It's all about building that relationship, right? It's all about what value you bring. So, and that I think is the core skill which is there, whether you do a sales in business or you do sales to an internal clients, right? Hi, I'm Archana.
Hi, I'm Neeta.
Hi, I'm Tina.
And we are
The Women in Banking. It's been exciting. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's been 18 years of in sales.
Wow.
I don't think I can't think of anything else I would have done if it was not for sales. Started when I was 23, 22, and remember, my first campus role and campus job, a company coming in and reputed bank, and it was a sales profile.
So were you ecstatic when you got the job?
Yes, I was. And
But did you know what you were getting in for?
no, not really. And how as young adults, you don't know the meaning of sales and marketing, and you often kind of confuse them with each other. But it was an exciting and a very fulfilling role, I must say. And I always say, like, your first love, your first job is your first love, and if you decide that whether you will stay in that field or not. And I think I kind of stayed within sales, and I've just grown from there. So
I'm sure there were perception, even though you didn't know about any of the jobs, about sales roles. Did you face that? And how did you?
well, I had a lot of people, back home also, sales, कितना pressure वाला काम है, कैसे करोगे, क्या बेचना है तुमको अभी, क्या रोज
कौन सा role है which doesn't have pressure?
Absolutely. I think sell like a woman or a man, but sell like a professional, the person you are. And sales, I think, runs in everybody's DNA. I think
Totally.
Right
I would
from-
agree to that.
yeah.
Because see, I am a human resource professional, right? And what's the typical perception? You will see that it's a role internal to the organization. It seems like a fairly structured job, but if you go to the core of it, and if you were to equate what I actually do,
There's sales in every job.
exactly, I am doing what a frontline essentially does, right? So both of your examples, I have internal clients.
No, I've seen how you pitch, whatever the HR agenda is to and that's very aggressive. No,
I think HR has the most aggressive pitches.
absolutely.
So yeah, a lot of influencing at that, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure none of you are going to give it easy if you don't find value in what we are
Totally.
bringing it. So it's all about clients.
Yeah.
It's all about building that relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's all about what value you bring.
Absolutely.
So, and that I think is the core skill which is there, whether you do a sales in business or you do sales to an internal clients, right?
Yeah, so about, picking up from what you said on relationship building. So I've been a corporate banker, for last 18 years. And for me, and for anybody, and I think Neeta would agree to that, that selling is just not selling a product. It's building relationship. And I think more specifically in banking, and that's has been my favorite quote, that, banking as such, the offerings have become quite commoditized. So what the differentiation is relationship.
Sure.
And when you specifically want to talk about women in sales, I feel that, look, while the aggression, aspiration, everything is there, but the way I think, and I'm not, no offense to men, I'm sure they obviously they're good at what they do, but women are great collaborators. And I think relationship building is all about having that collaboration, working together. And I think I've seen more and more women within the organization demonstrating that. And, and I
Not
think,
only in the organization, I would say if you look at the other larger unit in our life,
Yeah.
is family.
yeah, absolutely.
And there are just many relationships that one needs to manage. You go outside in the society, there again, right?
Yeah.
So it is, I think, something that comes naturally.
I
to
think,
us.
for us, especially the South Indians, we are a matriarchal family, typically. And also that we always saw the grandmoms and the mothers always in charge. So we didn't know any other way.
Absolutely.
We didn't know any other way.
Yeah.
All the decisions we saw, we've been seeing that happen through the family.
But what got you into sales, Neeta?
I think it was not by design. Okay, typically, all through my career, I have done a lot of support functions and done stints at sales, but smaller stints at sales as part of support functions. And I had a small stint in my earlier organization when I was in the insurance industry, also at managing sales, but smaller roles. And typically, I've always managed ops, sales, service, audit, quality, and support functions all throughout all the industries that I worked through. I worked in the airline, I worked in the insurance, and now banking. I think it was some sort of a confidence that was posed by my seniors saying that why don't you try your hand at sales? And I wasn't really very confident whether I will be able to do it. The role was big, the span, the scale. I wasn't really confident, but I think it was their confidence in me which sort of helped me or nudged me to walk this way. And now that I'm over here, I'm like questioning what have I ever been doing? It just fits in like a glove. And it has nothing to do with your experience, sales experience per se, per se, that only people who are good at sales or have a background of sales or are have done degrees in the sales background will do well. I don't think so at all. Someone who comes in afresh is able to give it a complete new look, a complete new view, and an outside in view. And if you're passionate about your job, be it sales, be it ops, you will excel anywhere.
Absolutely.
I don't think,
And I think
typically, sales experience per se.
just raise your hand, get into it. And it's a very cliched statement when you say beyond your comfort zone, but it's actually the fact. You need to be outside your comfort zone. And sometimes I feel as women, we just want to make sure that is it safe, pressure hai, aggression hai. But like Neeta said, she got the opportunity. And what also this thing, somebody is there, she was lucky. I was lucky, I've had mentors and leaders in my life who've kind of given me the opportunity when I wasn't sure if I could do it. They have kind of pushed me and showed their confidence in me, saying that, look, try it out.
That sales also comes with a lot of myths. That this is very tough.
Absolutely.
And a woman can't do it. It's a tough job. It's typically a man's job. It is late hours and things like that. I'll just relay a very cute example. My daughter decided to have a pet. She decided to have a Rottweiler. And I was freaking out because there's so much of story around a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
And only negative stories around a Rottweiler. whatever I've read about Rottweilers, understood,
like
paper
yeah.
and friends, family, everyone, it was a Rottweiler is taboo.
Yeah.
And once you have the pet, you only grow to love. But let me tell you, Rottweilers, and I can say this hand on heart, are the best breed of dogs ever. If you know how to manage them, if you know how to train them. So sales is a similar kind of a job. That's a nursery analogy that you hear so much noise around sales. And when you spend time, you grow to love it. There is so much of energy. The numbers give you a kick.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a daily high. Likewise, it is like having a Rottweiler back home.
I'm not going to forget. No. This this is interesting. I'm going to use it somewhere for sure. Excellent. Yeah. But you know what your daughter actually did was to pitch the whole proposition of having the pet at home, right? And what she did, interestingly, was to find an ally in her dad and trying to convince you. And that's where, I want to talk about allyship in sales specifically for women. And coming to my example, it was very, very important. And I believe, and what has led me to be part of this entire race for 18 years and hopefully the next 18 years as well, was to understand that call out for help. Like, be it at home, back home, you need help. You can't be a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And the day we realize it, and as Indian women, we want to hustle, we want to do everything, we want to be the Aaj Ki Nari with 10 hands behind her, this thing holding everything, that's the pictorial thing I always think about, but you can't have it all.
True.
You need to ask for help. Be it
To ask for help, you need to prioritize.
And and interestingly, I've heard a lot of women saying, but once you get married, you have kids, support system. I'm not saying there are cases where you actually don't have support system, but lot many times when you ask for it, you will figure out your way. It could be in form of your partner, and be it your in-laws, be it your friend, be it your parents, whatever form or shape things come out, I think any help is a help, and I think we should not be shy or reluctant to take that help. And in the organization as well, and I had a very touching story, it goes back when my son is he's 12 years, but when he was couple of months old, there was, his physical milestone was delayed. And I was like devastated that the entire world has fallen apart, what is there? And I that time decided that this is something that I would want to do it on my own. I don't want to delegate it. I want to do it on my own.
Okay. First time moms.
Yeah. And you know the anxiety, right? So I kind of, in that panic situation, called my boss and I said, you see, look, this is how it is. And without even pausing, look, this is it. I need to be there for him, and this is my priority right now. I don't know, it can be 8 months, 9 months, 1 year, I don't know. I don't know how will it work, but if I'm not able to manage, then quitting is the only option. And he heard me for like 5 minutes, and I was like almost in tears that, what has happened. And he's like, look, don't jump the gun. Let's take step by step. What do you need to do right now? I said, we need to go to the doctor, make those 1 hour visits every day. He said, go ahead. No, but I'll be little late to work and things like that. I said, so what? Manage it. We'll manage. I'm sure you'll manage. Whatever it is, I'm there to support. So what I used to do, and that's where the allyship, came in. The funny bit is, now I look at it, it's funny that after 9 months, my son started walking, and the first call goes to my boss. I know it's not a very relevant topic, but look, my son has started walking. But you know what it did was I stayed in the race.
Yeah, true.
And I bounced back stronger. And the gratitude that I had for my boss, the organization, just made me stay, grew, and I came back. The agility, the aggression, the passion, it just kind of increased, and that's where I felt that allyship is so important, and it's okay to call for help.
I can so relate to what she's actually talking about, because for me also, we are a nuclear setup away from home, and I have kids 1 year apart. So there was a time when both kids were very young. both my husband and I were trying to manage our work. There wasn't technically a work from home per se at that point in time.
Yeah.
And as new parents, we were trying to juggle like umpteen things. We were still trying to figure out what you said, like support system, right? So what is that right support system?
Yeah.
And somehow you believe that we can do it by ourselves,
Yes.
right? So you don't want to reach out, bother others, and you're always thinking, will it be too much of a hardship for others? I mean, these are decisions we take. So, be as we are, we tend to look at everything being managed ourselves.
How much we can do ourselves
Yeah,
without doing the other.
Absolutely. But we realized, so a couple of interesting things that we realized from that journey, right? As I say, I lived those 3-4 years in a trance, right? So waking up, going to work, managing kids. But the way my husband stepped up, and I never knew he was capable of childcare to that extent.
Yeah.
And he took to it very, very seamlessly. Then the fact that we were trying to juggle it out, my parents, my in-laws, everybody, offered their support in whichever way that they could. And at the end, all of it kind of came together. And in hindsight, I think there is a lot of hesitance that we carry, right? And at work also, the fact that my then boss was very empathetic and allowed me a little bit of flexibility that I needed to be able to manage both ends. Went a long way in making sure that I just continued my career in the way that I want to.
It's really wrong.
Because,
It goes a long way um, in the relationship that the boss, builds with the employee.
absolutely.
If you step up for your employees, they will lay their lives for absolutely. I think if we create an environment, and it's not just about women going through life cycle stages. I've had this in my early career years where people reporting into me wanted to do their MBA, wanted some time off, be it study, or they wanted to care for an elderly parent or a grandparent. If you allow some leeway to employees, you will see that they will all build up eventually, and you will have long-standing employees.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
with more and more women now in workplace, I think as organizations also we're more sensitive and we're more aware.
Actually.
I mean, talking about access, we have just so many opportunities and so much of enablers that we put into the system to be able to, and not only for women, right?
It doesn't matter. You are good at your job and you're out there being authentic, doing what you're doing with integrity, with what the organization wants, and learning and keeping your learning curve up, doing whatever it is, and I think things will fall in place eventually.
Yeah,
That's-
there
that's
is a larger societal setup also, and I think while things are changing, we still have a long, long way to go when it comes
Absolutely.
about regarding the perception around certain roles, right? Which are the roles that are more masculine in nature? Which are the roles which more are attuned to the feminine characteristics, as we talk about, right? So, in each of your journey, and I'm just wondering, did you either in your own journey or through your team members who were aspirational, how did you see them break some of those perceptions, right? Because it's all fine, like we all said, that we are probably part of a certain, we've been privileged, right? But there is a larger mass where we would, who is probably aspirational and is kind of trying to find their feet. How what's been your learning from your journey?
I think the race, it's not just women or men. I think people today are far more ambitious. They're here for their bang in the buck. They come to office because they know that they have to deliver. And of course, we as an organization are very performance driven. We have KRAs and KPIs, COs, of course, politics. But no, I do see that the workforce today, irrespective man, woman, boy, girl, they're more clued on, and want to sort of contribute. And it has nothing to do about, only a man will contribute or only a woman. Absolutely. Or, typically an MBA will contribute versus a non-MBA. I don't even see that in the workforce. I think what I think is really clues on people or the workforce is that they want to really be seen, be heard, do good work, put value on the table. If you give people that opportunity, they stay, they are willing to build businesses with you, work on critical areas with you, work on difficult areas with you, audits, compliance, the regulatory stuff. People are willing to do all that, put in long hours, burn the midnight oil, if you allow them some visibility, give them higher responsibilities, allow them to also, voice their thoughts, their, intelligence, then I don't see this man-woman divide, at least, all through my career in various organizations that I've belonged in. I don't really see this as a divide.
So, we've discussed a lot of stuff, but what does sales, being in sales kind of led to, for women? Like, is it just going and selling a proposition or doing whatever one particular job, but, or is it that I feel that it kind of opens up doors to a lot of other opportunities? So just what's your view on that?
I think sales makes you better at everything.
Absolutely.
You know the products, you know the processes, you know the people, you know the stakeholders, you know to engage better. You start negotiating better. I used to be a good negotiator, but now I'm a real hard negotiator.
Yeah.
So it just overall adds to your being as a on the personal side and as on the professional
And I
side
think
as
it
well.
opens up being in sales is never say never. The whole world opens up. Whole world opens up and you have a perspective about everything. And I think that's that is enabler that as women, or for that matter, again, I don't want to make it a little gender specific, but that's the avenue that gets opened up for
True.
And you don't even realize when you end up using that skill in your household as well, right?
that we do.
I think it comes very naturally to women.
I think that comes naturally at home, and I think we just have to extend it to work. So people who say I cannot sell, I think we should just go back home and see a lot of examples how we negotiate with our, our helps at home, our in-laws, our family, our partners, our kids. I think
And some of these qualities, however much we can take credit for, I think some of it is innate as well, right?
absolutely.
Look at how well your kids negotiate with you. Pretty much. And it's not easy to then have a voice and get them to agree to something that you want to do. So I think our skills get tested pretty much
So
every time.
when I was sort of giving my daughter early years of her deciding to do what she wants to do in her career, and she has seen me through all my career stints. So she was asking, how will this help? How will audit help? How will service help? And now that she sees me when she's down, she sees me on my sales call. She said, "Yeah, this is really helping."
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is really helping.
And I feel that as women, when we are contributing, and it's a message for the larger audience that when you are in the workforce, when you're doing something which is giving you the happiness and the satisfaction, I think your kids pick onto it. Like, one day my son is asking, and I want to say it today, probably manifesting. And he wanted to know how the grades work in Access. Okay, so you're SVP. So what is next for you? What is your senior vice president? What is next for you? And then after he paused for like 10 minutes and he said, okay, how many years will it take you to become the CEO? Yeah, managing director of the bank. And I was like, you really want me to? Of course, mama, you're already here. And for him, in his head was, okay, couple 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 plus 3. It is like, but, he could see that passion. And I think that kind of gives you the confidence. HR is noting already. No, but it is interesting how it kind of rubs off, especially as mothers, what we say, what we do.
True.
The energy we carry back. And I think sales gives you that empowerment, gives you that, I think it's just so visible in everything
It just
you
gives
do.
you, for me, especially someone who's from a non-sales background, now when I look at it, it just completes the circle.
Yeah.
Bringing your full self to work every day,
Yes.
every deal, every interaction, every relationship that you build. I think that's what sales gets you to do.
I love sales because it gives me a sense of achievement.
For me, sales is my daily high, my shot of caffeine.
So finally, it looks like it's not about the role or the gender, as the common perception tends to be, but it's more about our capabilities, our skills, and the self-belief to go out there and do what we love to do, what we aspire to do.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.